cash ain't right, if your cash ain't right, put some cash in your life, put some cash in your life. Cause what's the credit score when you got your cash right? Put some cash in your life, put some cash in your life. If your cash ain't right, if your cash ain't right, put some cash in your life.
YouTube Zodiacs, what's good? Is your favorite Gemini, KashDaGemini, and I am back on a Thursday. I'm not gonna lie, today's Thursday was kind of hard to come on here, man. I was watching the Toronto Raptors versus the 76ers. The NFL draft was on. I was talking to Thor about the New York Football Giants, but I said, hey, man, we got a cashing out to do. It's episode 29. Got Jason on here today. How's it going, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Honestly, not too bad, man. It's pretty good weather, and in the Midwest, the weather is like, man,
Like a roller
it's like karma,
right?
man,
Up and down.
up and down. So
Yep.
I'm like, cool. I always joke and say every time you guys see me, I'll have on the hoodie and stuff because I'm in my basement. It's always
Yeah.
freezing down here.
Yeah. It's same thing in Chicago, man. It's all over the board. It's one day it's super cold, one day it's super hot, but it's kind of the nature of unfortunately things right now. So
Yeah,
go with the flow.
yeah, man, yeah. Before we get started, I want to say hello to the beautiful crowd out there. Edwin Diaz, I appreciate you being here as always, man. Jedi Chisel, appreciate you. Hi Cash and gents, greetings from Puerto Rico. Appreciate you, Dennis. Nathan, what's going on, man? Tone, what's good? Luke was on last week from Australia. Appreciate you coming back, Luke. Nathan, how's it going, man? As everyone trickles in, see you have 15 people so far. Appreciate you guys for coming. So you mentioned that you're from Chicago. Is that born and raised?
Yeah, born and raised my whole life. Born in the city, kind of moved around. And Chicago, if you live in Chicago, like there's the city, and then you have like the suburbs, but everyone kind
Mm-hmm.
of lumps it together as like Chicagoland. So it's a lot of just in the area. So I live a little farther out west now in the suburbs, but yeah, Chicago my whole life. So
Cool, man. Cool. What's going on, Shane, Pudgy, Trey Smith? I see everybody trickling in. So speaking of Chicago, is what does Chicago have to offer on the food side?
well, I think like everyone like Chicago's always known for like deep dish pizza, which if you talk to someone who's from Chicago, we don't eat that stuff because it just makes you want to fall asleep. Like we're about like thin crust,
Thin crust.
pub style pizza, hot dogs, beef sandwiches, like Italian beef sandwiches is huge in Chicago. What else? I mean, that's probably the big one. If any of you guys have heard of Portillo's, like that's a big one for Chicago, and they've actually opened some more restaurants out in like California and all that too. But like, definitely the pizza, the beef sandwiches, the hot dogs. That's really what Chicago's known for. At least the stuff I love out here too. So
Gotcha. So my guy Darth Rashid, I believe he's from New York, if I'm not mistaken. So what's the difference from a Chicago style pizza and New York style? Is any difference?
oh yeah, big time.
Italian beef.
Yeah, well, like I think the New York style, which I love, like the Brooklyn style, is like that big slice you fold and like eat. That's New York style, which is amazing. So
Yeah. We actually had an episode like on. There's another channel that I'm frequently on, collecting weekly. They do a Friday show, and we were on there. We had like a pizza day, and I thought me and one of the guys were gonna come with those like $1.50 Tostino's pizza. So I came with the Tostino's pizza, and everybody else came with like this nice Italian cheesy pizza. I'm like, come on, guys, like this ain't cool.
you came with like the $2 pizza.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, everyone showed their pizza, but me, I didn't show mine on screen.
Oh,
I'm like, I
really?
can't do it. I can't do it.
That's actually a good pizza. When you want a snack or something, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool, man.
Yep,
So, man,
absolutely.
just taking us back for you. Is there any like for what you do today? A part of being part of the community. As a child, how did you go from a child to where you are today? Like, what was your first introduction to Marvel, DC, Star Wars? Was it a family member, a commercial, a cartoon?
So I was born in the '70s, raised in the '80s. and teenager in the 90s. So it was when I was a little kid, it was like Hulk, like the old Hulk show, the old Spider-Man shows I used to watch. That was sort of my, early as a kid. And then I was growing up, like Star Wars was coming out and like, Predator, Alien, all those great, movies. And like, that's really what sort of sculpted my, my love of all those franchises. But like Hulk, what's up, Alberto? Um, Hulk was always my favorite as a kid, and obviously you can see it's one of my favorites now too. But like, I collected comic books, but I didn't necessarily like read a ton and get into the stories. I was more of a film and video guy, so like I'd always watch all the movies and shows, and then the '90s was X-Men with the cartoon, which was amazing too, and so really like I've always been a big sci-fi geek. Always been into mostly sci-fi, mostly like even some fantasy stuff too, but like and in my when I was a teenager, I skateboarded and rode with a lot of teams in Chicago, which was fun. But like
Okay.
most of my, I always been an artist too, so like I love to draw the comic books and all that stuff too when I was a kid, and so that sort of translated to what I do now too. So,
So
but
far as drawing, did you have to take like art in high school, anything like that, art
yeah,
class, or?
I took art from when I was in grammar school. I took classes at the Art Institute of Chicago downtown. I
Okay.
took art classes all through high school, and then I went to college. I studied film and 3D animation.
Oh, really? Okay.
I worked in the film industry for a while, doing visual effects work and stuff like that too. So I've always needed a creative outlet in my life, and I was trained traditionally as a kid, and when I was a teenager, and that's why my chops were up for painting for this stuff, um, because I did all that work. So I did all sorts of things like sculpting, to drawing, to like I never like painted figures before, but when I started doing it later when I started doing this stuff, but it sort of
Hmm.
translates itself, the same way. So I was I just love it. So um, I did tons and tons of traditional artwork. Then I went from film, and after I stopped doing film, I started doing the painting the statue stuff. So
Gotcha. From the time you were like born around that time period, I would probably say from the films that I watched going back, as far as like sci-fi horror,
yeah,
there's more classics then than there is like present day movies. Like, do you think that's safe to say, as far as like how movies are made,
yeah.
then to now?
I think like when I was growing up, a lot of the like major franchises were established, like Star Wars and Predator and Aliens and He-Man and GI
Yeah.
Joe, and like I mean GI Joe started like in the '60s and all that too, but like it still was huge when I was a kid. Transformers, like all this stuff sort of came to light when I was growing up, and it was like I remember when He-Man first came out, and I had the first He-Man doll in 1983. Like it was the coolest thing in the world, like, and that I felt very fortunate to grow up when those things were coming out, and I think that has translated. Obviously, with anything, like as we get older, the pop culture that was popular at the time becomes even more so now because we're the people that have money, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
essentially pay towards a lot of these franchises too, So, and I think obviously with the comic book thing blowing up too, it's really sort of, and comics books been around, it's been on a lot longer than, 30s and all that stuff, but it really sort of had, it's such a fertile ground for stories and movies and all that stuff too. But I think when I was growing up, I had the pleasure of growing up and seeing all that stuff evolve, which is really, really awesome. So,
Cool, man. Yeah. I think like Star Wars has probably been the one franchise that I feel like has just like transitioned so well from like one generation to the next. Like now you have dads showing their sons and daughters Star Wars, and kind of taking it on to the next generation. Even Predator is still around to this day,
yeah,
and another one is even Jurassic Park.
yeah, that was big too. Yeah, I think it's some really talented people with great scripts and great stories that sort of they're timeless, and I think it's going to
Yeah.
last a long time for that too, and it's great as adults because you still feel like a kid sometimes. You connect with that so much, So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
Would you say that Harrison Ford is more known for Star Wars or Indiana Jones?
For me, I would say Indiana Jones.
Okay.
That's just like I've always saw him, and I remember like as a kid, I'm like, Mom, I want to see Indiana Jones. I'm like, well, we're gonna go see Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm like, no, I want to see Indiana Jones, and I didn't know it was the same movie, and like I associate him with that because he's the main character in that franchise, and it's such
Yeah.
a big franchise. And in Star Wars, he still was a big character in it, but he was one of the big characters in the story. And I think for me, Indiana Jones is definitely like Harrison Ford. That's his franchise for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm still, I just started watching Star Wars. I'm gonna say, I think it was sometime in January, if I'm not mistaken, for the first time ever. First time ever.
Really?
Watched, yeah, yeah. I watched the all three sets of trilogies, plus Rogue One, and amazing films, amazing films. But I'm still upset that Solo's son killed him. I'm still upset about that. I'm like, you freaking bastard.
Well, I have a question for you then. Like, how do you
Yeah.
feel watching the original movies
Hmm.
now? Obviously, you've been sort of tarnished with like the level of visual effects that you're used to. Like the bar is so. I mean, they did an amazing job, obviously, with the production work on those movies. But what
Yeah.
was your first impression when you saw those? Did they feel dated to
Well,
you, or was it very?
no, the original trilogy holds up very well,
Yeah, I agree.
very well. Like from acting, script, effects, everything holds up very well. Now, when you go to the prequel, because it's around that time where like more animation is coming into more movies. I'd say the first or second one you can kind of tell the graphics aren't as good. And I was like, yo, the original trilogy, it looks a little bit better than this. And I think the first one was 1999 for the prequels, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
And I didn't think those graphics were as good. But once they got to the third trilogy, and then obviously or the third movie and the prequel, and obviously the sequel, everything was how it kind of is today. So holds up very well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's some of the first movies they shot entirely on green screen, where they had all the backgrounds replaced. And
Yeah.
I think during the time when the first one was done, it was still like things weren't as good till you get it really photoreal. But when you're looking back in the old movies, they all used optical effects, all the models, the lightsabers even look great. Like it was just really good. And I was just been watching the Predator movies, and like the first one, and just the costume, you
Yeah.
know, other than like him disappearing, which you're gonna get that sort of layered look of the cloaking thing he has. Other than that, like the costume, the blood, everything looks so real because it's all practical effects, and some really talented artists that made the costumes and all that. So Stan Winston.
Yeah, I actually just got in a new Predator, a big game cover art Predator with the Jungle Hunter's victim from Prime One.
Yep, I
I
got mine
watched
last week.
Dude, I literally watched Predator like a couple of days after setting
Yeah.
this up, and for the first time ever, I was watching the movie, and all I did was
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh man, I got it right here, man." You
I,
got Arnold
funny enough,
Schwarzenegger, Bill Duke,
I bought
crazy.
mine. I bought that same statue last week from a local
Yeah,
collector out here in Chicago. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I know the guy you're talking about. Good dude.
oh yeah, was it Jesus his name?
Yeah, Jesus, good dude, man.
Yeah, really great guy. So it was awesome. We sat and talked for like several hours when he came back, just nerding out about statues and stuff like that. It was pretty fun. So
So like speaking of that, like have you been able to like actually go in person to see a field collector's man caves or whatever in person
I
or
have not personally. I do have one guy, Bill Collins, who I've done some work for, and he lives very close to me, and we've sort of worked. We sort of nerded out together, and I've been over to his house a couple times. But I've had other people come over here either to buy stuff or pick up stuff I painted for them, and they've
Mhm.
seen my collection. And I've actually had I had another guy come from another state that stopped by too, because we've talked on Facebook online. And he was in the area and wanted us to swing by. So it was cool to connect with people. So I love obviously to go out and see other people's collections, but because of COVID and all that, I haven't really had a chance to go out and sell some of these collections out here. But I start to meet more and more people in the Chicago area that collect, and you get to know that. I'd love to do like maybe a get together where we can all get together and sort of just like hang out, have some drinks, and just talk shop. That would really be.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. No one's actually been down here that I can think of lately. No. We had a AC repair like maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago, and the AC guy literally forgot he was even working, man. Like he just wanted to talk Marvel movies and everything, and I was just like, oh man. So besides him, like, yeah, and it does get a little crazy. I'm not embarrassed, but I'm also kind of like, don't get too close, don't break nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I've had people like repair people come over and they like, because a lot of people have never seen this stuff in person, and like you see it in person, it's a whole nother experience, right? Because everyone
oh
thinks
yeah,
it's that big, but it's definitely much bigger. And like when I have people come over, they're like, "Oh my God, what is going on here?" Like they're just completely enthralled because, like you can see the display. There's quite a few Hulks here too. Still, I'm waiting. I got my Queen Studios Scar coming, so I'm making room for him on the shelf over here too.
hey, who did you get this scar from?
I ordered from Spec Fiction.
Oh my God, you ordered it from Spec Fiction on
My first Spec Fiction order, actually. I usually just buy custom pieces, but man, I needed that Hulk on the Throne. So, and Todd Johnson's a great guy too. So I've done some work for him. So.
Oh man, dude, shout out my guy Todd. Yeah, man. Yo, use that code Cash10, man. I swear to God, like I don't know why, man. I don't even be broadcasting this, dude, right? But everywhere I go, Cash10, Cash10, Cash10. It's I don't know. It's a thing now, man. It's a thing. But yeah,
It rolls off the tongue nice, right?
man, definitely. I gotta like talk to Todd about the origin behind that, man. That's just crazy. I was like, yo, what should I make the code? It's like Cash10. So
Yeah.
ever since then, everybody's saying Cash10 and they're using it, so it's cool, man.
Yeah, I've
But
talked to him a couple times. He seems like some guy I would get along with really well. It seems like a cool cat. So
yeah,
I
dude.
still, if you're watching, Todd, I still have a Silver Surfer, which I'm going to do soon. I have a Bushy Silver Surfer, which you guys have. I don't know if you guys know what that is. That's the one that's on the wave that Avi sculpted, but it's one of the most popular ones. It was made several years ago. So.
Oh, you're doing that for Todd, or?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man, cool. So I got a question for you. Let's just hypothetically say he says he cannot wait, man. Let's just hypothetically say that somebody hypothetically buys a XM Studios white Magneto. Are
Okay.
you able to paint that to the traditional Magneto colors?
Oh yeah.
I mean, hypothetically speaking, of course.
Hypothetically, yes. Like the thing
Okay.
you have to think about, right? So when you're painting something is like, for example, if you're looking at a piece, you're like, man, I'd like to get that repainted, right? You'd look at it and say, what can someone paint this without, like, if there's an arm crossing over where I can't paint inside of here and it's glued
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
like that Magneto, he's like, he's out like this, so it's
Yeah.
really easy to do. And you've seen some, I'm sure you've seen some repaints of it too. So like that
Yeah.
sort of thing, you could absolutely repaint, right? Because you can get all the parts, and really, spend the time to make sure you pack in the detail. Looks fantastic. So yes, that is definitely something that can be done.
Okay, cool.
I agree.
So before we get to your pictures, approximately how long does it take to paint something like
So
that Magneto?
like for example, that Magneto, because there's a lot of different colors and different things you have to mask off on. Are you talking about like the base and the body, or just the body?
Uh, just the body, Yeah, body and the cape. That's all.
I mean, you're looking at probably 30 hours, 35 hours.
35 hours. Okay.
It matters how fast you are. Like, you know, the thing is, it doesn't really matter on size because I can paint a Hulk, because a Hulk is just pants and skin tones and a face, like
Yeah.
it doesn't take very long, as like doing, right now I'm painting another Samurai Wolverine, the Franco Carlissimo one. If you've seen that, the last level one, the big tree. So I'm doing my second
Yeah.
one. He's got all the armor, and it's all the samurai armor, which is a lot of detail, and that took me 150 hours.
Damn. So Franco is coming on when Pumpkinhead releases.
Oh, is he?
I can't wait to get my Franco Pumpkinhead. However, my first Franco piece is coming next month.
Oh,
Yo,
is it?
that Thor, that legendary beast Thor.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man. Shout out Spec Fiction on that. I cannot wait for that, man. Like,
That's an incredible piece too.
I can't wait, man. Hey, I'll be like a kid on Christmas sometimes, man, when this stuff comes in.
Oh,
But
yeah.
looks like we got a question for you. Will you be getting the XM Studios Maestro?
So that is a good question, right? And so I have a Maestro. You can see him. It's the bushy Maestro. You can see him up there.
Okay.
One of my favorites. It's the comic cover of the first Maestro. I love the XM1. It's really cool. I think the trophies look like they're just kind of thrown together. So if I would have bought him, I wouldn't have bought the trophies because it just looks messy to me. I'm going to stick with the one I have, but I am going to get the Venom Eyes Hulk from XM. But I think I'm going to pass.
Oh yeah.
Maestro. I think size, weight, price, shipping, and I have an amazing Maestro already. It's sort of like, definitively kind of made my decision on keeping the one I have. So.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's definitely pricey, but even more so than price. Like, price doesn't really worry me because you can do it on a payment plan. So price doesn't like really. I know people saying this a lot, but like, I just feel like you payment plan it, kind of chip away at the bigger price, But really, just the space is gonna be like, man,
it is.
You gotta have a whole shelf, man.
Yeah, space is, like as all of us know, like space is king when it comes to this hobby. Like I think people run out of space before they run out of money a lot of times. So
yeah.
And before it gets cluttered too, like you don't want to put too much in there because then like visually things are just too busy and like you can't really appreciate the stuff that you have and it's all about a sorry, I just had to send a kit to somebody in there.
Oh no, you're good, man.
Piece just got destroyed in the mail. Oh gosh. Okay. Anyways.
So so I'm gonna pull up your picture, but I got one last question to ask you real quick. One last question.
Yeah.
If I were able to get the legendary Leprechaun back, the Leprechaun goes back to my early days on YouTube, man. It was this god awful Leprechaun I had, right? Man, I might pull it up. It's this god awful Leprechaun I had, right? And would you ever be interested in actually owning that character?
Like Leprechaun from the movies?
Like Jennifer Aniston Leprechaun?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, it was. There were, I dig the movies, but in terms of a statue, it probably not. No. Let me check it out.
Dude, I'm gonna. So check this out, man. This is definitely crazy, but here
oh my god,
man. Here, yeah, I know.
It's a Lilu wig, from the Fifth Element. That's like Lilu. That's totally
The
what it is.
Exorcist.
Like, yeah. There you go.
Oh, that's so creepy, bro.
That's fucked up. That's a fucked up thing. That's a really fucked up thing to have. That you own, that's fucked up. But it's cool.
Jesus, Todd.
I want the gold.
I think he
Holy
wants
hell.
more than gold.
I
Maybe a
want me
bubble.
gold.
Would you say your butthole?
Yeah, definitely.
God.
Bring your gold.
Oh man.
He wants your.
Oh my
Look at
god.
his
Yeah, dude.
Multi-pass.
All right, guys. Well, that
Yeah. That was that was
So you're getting that? That's coming to your
Oh
class?
hell no, 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 no.
Alright.
No, I'm not. I had it and that was like the thing. Like I hated this thing, right? I hated it, man. And I had it and ironically, like I hit up Todd, I'm like, yo, you're not gonna believe what happened, man, right? I swear on the strike of midnight, like the strike of midnight as like the ball dropped on midnight. Somebody bought it on eBay.
Really?
I bought it from somebody named Sean
Okay.
in Arizona. The person who bought it on midnight name was Sean from Arizona. I was like, what the hell is going on, man? Like,
Bizarre.
I know, like, what is going on?
That
What is going on?
that is, yeah, that's nuts, man. See, that's the kind
Yeah.
of thing that you wake up at night to use the bathroom and like you see that and turn a corner and get scared out of your mind because
Yeah.
I don't want my collection to scare me at all. So
Oh man. Yeah, dear Lord, man. That's crazy. Yeah, man. So moving on to the pictures for you. When I told people I was bringing you on here, the first thing I heard was, "Oh, you mean the Hawk guy?" So like you're perceived as the Hawk guy. Is there a reason why? Because I just learned about you about a week or two ago. So is that what you're known for, or?
yeah, I'm known, like I've painted a lot of Troy McDevitt Hulks, which is the this Hulk behind me right here.
Okay.
That guy right there. I've painted 17 of those.
Oh wow.
17 different people. So
Okay.
that's kind of what I'm known for. And obviously, I collect Hulk too, but like that's sort of my thing. I've painted a lot of other stuff before, but I paint a lot of. I still have 7 more to do of that Hulk, by the way. So,
Oh wow. Okay, gotcha, man. Yeah.
so yeah, this is a gray one I did for my friend Tony.
hmm
Added the orange shirt around his waist, like the original OG Gray Hulk. So,
Yeah. Cool, man. That's cool.
and
Oh man.
this is Samurai Wolverine, one of the first one I did. That's the second torso here.
On this one here, do you have to do anything special for the like the chest hair area?
Yeah, so I have a technique to do that. So a lot of people do is they'll like paint the striations of the hair, which sort of looks okay. It matters how you do it. Some people just shade it. Some people dry brush it. What I do is I use a flat brush and I use pigment, like dried pigment, and I pounce to sort of give that ramization of the hair.
hmm
And it gives you that sort of look that it looks like when you have hair in your chest. So that was kind of my technique to do that.
Okay. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah.
That's and then we got that's the outside. That tree was a pain in the butt. I'm doing another one right now. So
Oh, so you paint the base, everything on this
the
here.
whole thing, yeah, everything.
Okay. Okay. Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah, this only came as a kit, and this is a Franco sculpt also.
Okay. Yeah. As far as okay, so this is the second torso here.
Yeah, second torso. It's got 5 heads with this piece, 2 torsos. Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's all those
Wow.
little pies that you have to paint. It takes
Yeah.
some time. So that's
This
like
portrait is really good right here.
Yeah.
Really good portrait.
the full headdress. I used a gold leaf on the gold, so it'll actually tarnish over time.
hmm
Kind of give that
Okay.
sort of weathered look too.
Wow. And you said this was the one that was 150 hours?
Yeah, that was 150 hours. Yeah,
Oh, man.
it was a lot.
Ouch. Ouch. So moving to this Wolverine versus the
Yep.
previous one, would this be like less hours because there's no tree or?
This was a repaint. This definitely was about 40 hours maybe. I had to sort of I had to strip some of the paint off the previous painter did and redo a lot of the paint work, but it was pretty straightforward in terms of paint job. So
When it comes to stripping of the paint, is that more of an acetone that's used, or?
Yeah, I use acetone or a lacquer thinner. Matters what type of resin it is. So you have to test the resin to make sure it doesn't also melt the resin too, because that would be terrible. So you use some acetone to like remove the paint off, and then sand it all off, and then reprime it, and then because there's nothing worse than like if it's not prepped right to do all this paint work, and then like you put a piece of tape to mask something, and you peel the paint off, and all your work goes away. So you definitely
Yeah.
got to do some pre-work to make sure it's done right. So
Far as Wolverine's claws, is there like anything that you do to give it that shine? Is that actually a paint, or that's just like, I
those
guess,
are
metal?
metal blades, but what I did, especially even I did on this one, I'll use a aluminum metal polish, which is like you use like a microfiber cloth with that stuff, and you'll rub it on the metal, and it shines it up for you to make it real shiny. So
Okay, cool, cool.
that's one of the Hulks. That's I think the last one I did. Um, and for the skin tones, and obviously seeing in person, you'll see a lot more. There's probably about 10 layers of depth in those
Oh
skin
wow.
tones to get where it's at, to give those subtle transitions between the shading to make it look
Mm-hmm.
natural and all that. And when I paint Hulks, you know I try to make sure I you know kind of highlight all the muscle tones and all that, so you can kind of see that from any
So
distance,
it's
you can see all the veins and the muscles and all the different anatomy and all that stuff. So
when it comes to painting like these, whether it's a kit or a repaint, are you ever like kind of, I guess, given ideas of what to do, or are you kind of just like, hey man, just do your thing and make it look good, or?
yeah, a lot of people just kind of give me a shade and I'll run with it. I mean, most people hire me because they like the way I paint these, so they'll just tell me
Mm-hmm.
what color they want, and then I'll just go from there. So
Okay. Yeah, so that's even like painting the nails and
oh yeah,
everything. That's crazy, man. Yeah.
doing a Hulkbuster head, I do candy colors on those. Just get that that nice metallic reds and golds and all
Yeah.
that too. So
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, I've seen the Superman before. This is a
yeah,
really good paint here. I love the base as well.
yeah. We did the sort of brass look, so it has some
Mm-hmm.
oxidation. If you look close on it, it has so that blue oxidation in the corners, and really cool base because it tells the story of Superman around the base too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I did that for a guy. His name was Chris.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
And
This is a really good one right here.
yeah,
Really
that's a
good one.
prototype I did for a group in Facebook, and it's a Nightcrawler with all the little demons and the Bamf behind them. That was a
Yeah.
fun project. For
Yeah.
the desk on that, because I wanted to get wood grain on the desk, I
Mm-hmm.
3D printed a roller. Like you can get, like for like home improvement stuff, people can get like a roller that you can
Okay.
roll wood grain, like the pattern of wood grain. So I
Yeah.
downloaded those and I shrunk them down and I rolled.
Wait,
Um,
wait. You mean these on this desk right here? You added that to this?
oh yeah, I added all the wood grain to it.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Fun to try new
That's cool.
things. So
Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
Definitely different.
Yeah, the prototypes are tougher because it's the first one, so there's a lot of engineering challenges sometimes with them. So especially this one had about 250 parts, so it was a lot. That's John Williams, or I'm sorry, Mr. X's Soldier Wolverine. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that review.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for him. That
Yeah.
was a
This is
pretty
a really
cool
good
piece.
one.
I did the helmet. You can see the camouflage. I just
Yeah.
have a vinyl cutter that I cut out little pieces of camouflage, and I stenciled on all that
Okay.
on the
Wow,
helmet there.
man.
And you'll see,
Yeah.
like, even on his chest, you'll see there's like he's got sweat coming down the center like you would if you were sweating in the jungle.
Yep.
Got
Yep.
dirt over his armpits, and I paint the realism. And I look at different things to make it look as real as possible. So
Right.
and then you got like sort of the muddy water. So I use a liquid epoxy to get all the water, and some of the bullets were kind of submerged in the water too. So
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great. Heck yeah.
it's a cool piece. Another Franco sculpt. I love the bone claws on this one.
Man, every time I turn around, man, it's like Franco's doing this, doing that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the man. Vision right here.
Yeah, I did that was a pretty popular piece. I did the prototype for that one.
Yeah.
And we matched the base to the sideshow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We did all the blue highlights on the base with everything, and then, yeah, that was a cool piece. That's definitely a lot of people love that one.
Yeah. So as we're looking at this vision here, since this one was created to match what they had did over there, is there any characters that you would love to actually see get made that just haven't been shown love from a license perspective?
Um, There is, I think like there has been a lot of Fantastic Four. I think is probably one of the bigger ones.
Mm-hmm.
What else? God, I mean, even Vision hadn't had a lot of love either.
Yeah.
I think if I think about it, there's probably a huge list of characters that don't get. It seems like they keep doing the same things over and over again, and they don't really touch upon the. I don't know if it's licensing or them like doing market research and finding out what sells and all that stuff too. So
Yeah. Tell me about it. Now this is a red hawk. When you're doing hawks or doing the red version versus the green version, any different other than colors in terms of what you're actually doing to get it that look, or?
So what I'll look at, and I'll look at comic book references in terms of like what did the artist highlight the veins as, like what tones of red are, and I'll look at different things to sort of make it, obviously closer to what the comic book artists are looking at. Like a lot of the veins on the Red Hulk will do like purple tones and all that, which complements the red too.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'll look into color theory and what blends together. Like you'll use a lot of yellows to highlight red, because as red gets brighter, it turns to that spectrum. So I don't use a lot of black for shading, believe it or not. I use more of a darker version of the base coat color. But for Red Hulks, I tend to use black for shading, and then I'll mist over the red to sort of set it back so it's a lot more subtle and then flows really well too. So this was an Alpha 3 Red Hulk that was a representation of the one of the comic book covers. I forgot the artist, but
Okay. All right, cool, man, cool.
And I did this Wonder Woman. There'll be, I think, more pictures of her, but it was my first female. This was my first female I did, was the actual Savage Storm.
The Savage Storm, okay.
Yeah.
Now this is the older piece, right?
Yeah, that was DXL Designs. This was, I don't know who sculpted it, but the commissioner was a really nice guy. Yeah, it's a great piece. Just a beautiful sculpt.
So a question on the sculpts in terms of like you painting. Do you feel like with the I guess like the new innovations of what's being done in terms of sculpts and designs, that newer pieces like presently are easier to go back and repaint or touch up versus older stuff, or it really just depends on the sculptor itself, like Franco, Daniel Bell, etc.?
Well, I mean, it's easier it matters where it was produced, what factory did it, what materials they used. Like particularly this piece was produced by Onage. Onage is a company or a place that's in China that is probably one of the best production houses for statues and figures in the world. And they're casting and engineering, and they do a lot of 3D printing for most of the projects you see for customs. That then they'll do the 3D print and then they'll send it to other factories to do, because Onage is so popular and the wait is so long for them to produce the whole thing. But this is one where this Onage did the whole kit, and it only came as a kit, never came painted. But it just amazing engineering, amazing 3D printing, and it just is flawless in terms of the execution. And these particular kits are made with polyurethane resin, which is a high quality resin. It's a little bit lighter than polystone, and we're all used to polystone, but polystone is a cheaper material, and it casts really well with sharp details, but it is brittle, right? It's basically resin with stone incorporated into resin, causing it to be heavier, but also makes it brittle too. So, but these Onage kits are amazing because they're just, the detail's incredible, and they're durable too, which is nice.
Cool, man. Cool.
It's another. I think that's the one behind me. Yeah, I think that's the one behind me.
Yeah, this one looks really good. I like the green on this one here.
Yeah, it's like glowing. It's like, I am radioactive.
Yeah. I like this. I like this.
Yeah,
that's cool. Is now with green and yellow, are these two types of, or is it really any color, but especially green and yellow, are those two, because those are like two colors I see more often, myself. Do you feel like you have to perfect the different shades of colors?
Yellow is really tough. Green is super easy because the amount of shades you can do, and also when you're dealing with color, different types of color have a different level of opacity or like strength of the pigment. And yellow is really hard to paint because if you have like let's say you primed it dark gray and I sprayed yellow over it, it would cause the yellow to be darkened, and it would take a lot of yellow to make it really bright. So for example, I had to make this really bright yellow, so I painted it white. Then I hit it with yellow to make it really bright, and then I would shade it with like a transparent brown. That's what you can see there. Kind of highlights all those muscles and all that too. So yellow is a special case. Green's super easy. Reds are tougher, but yellow is like the bitch. So
Gotcha.
There we
wow.
go.
Yeah, this is an impressive one.
Big as a sofa. This is a Smashing Hulk done by a place in the Philippines. I had gotten 3 of these kits, but they're huge. It was hollow. It wasn't very heavy, but super cool. So
yeah, really cool.
This is the prototype it did for another group, another custom group. They actually changed the heads on it because it wasn't close to the comic book, but they did keep that head. So
okay,
we got
man,
out of that Hulk.
This is really nice. Far as like the thigh area here, is doing different types of silvers pretty okay, or?
Yeah, so metal's tough, right? So like if you do straight, well, you can't really do chrome, but metal, to keep the shine, you have to use different clear coats to make sure it doesn't kill the shine. So I use a lot of different types of metallic paints to get different effects of shininess or dullness. They'll still make it look like metal. So yeah, it's definitely takes a little bit of work to really get it to look you want, especially the metallic looks, because you can't just buy metallic paint, throw some clear coat over it, make it look right, because it doesn't.
Yeah. Gotcha on that one. Yeah, for sure, man.
I think that's the same one. Yeah, it's a Hobgoblin I did for a client of mine. I went to Australia, I think.
Looks good, especially the flaming pumpkins.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people who paint statues or companies, you'll see that, like, you see these flaming pumpkins, and you see how the darker red is at the end of the flames, and you have the lighter. you'll see some statues they'll paint it incorrectly, where they have the darker red at the beginning and then the lighter, which that's not what fire looks like. So
Right.
I'm all about making sure it's all correct. But yeah, that was a fun project too. That was a cool piece.
Speaking of fire, here's another one here.
Yeah, that's Human Torch. That's about to ship soon, actually. It's another prototype I did.
Yeah.
I do a lot of
Oh,
custom
boy.
heads. So this is a custom heads for your sideshow.
Wait. Like you make these heads?
No, I didn't make these. These were actually done by a commissioner. They were unpainted, and people bought them from them, and they sent them to me, and I painted them for them, and I matched the paint to the statue. So the next picture is for, which I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen the statue. It's the sideshow 5th scale. Yeah, so that's it. And I did add eyeballs to those two, but yeah, really makes the statue.
Hey man, we got Amilcar Fong. This was one of the sculptors and designers I was telling you who was on here. Really good guy. He says, "Hi Jason, great job, man."
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, he does some really good work, especially with the I don't know if you've seen the Skeletor bust that's coming out with Tweeterhead. Worked on that as well. A lot of the Master of the Universe stuff.
Yeah, those are awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, man, this is looking really, really good.
Yeah, that's
Back
another
to this one again.
thing.
Yeah.
I did his. I don't know if that can see, but I did his eyes glowing, kind of.
Yeah.
On his eyes too.
Really good. Oh, Gladiator. Okay.
Yeah, that's an older kit. I did the sort of the candy red on his arms and all that. It's basically a process you would use to do on like motorcycle like parts or like the motorcycle tanks, where you get it like a metallic silver, and then you'll do a clear red over it to give it that candy look. So that went to a guy in Singapore.
Okay. Oh yeah, this looks really good. Yeah, especially how you did the leg area.
Yeah, that guy's like 32 inches tall. He's massive.
Man. So just to ask a question real quick here, and I'll get back to Wonder Woman, because you're doing all these paintings and stuff for people, and now obviously because of the locations, what you said, some people are picking them up, others you're having to ship it off. There's like UPS, USPS, wherever you go, FedEx, are they just used to seeing you with all these big boxes, or?
Well, so anywhere I live, I make friends with the UPS store near my house, so like they know me by name, and so yeah, I am shipping stuff constantly. So
they kind of just know it now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And you get really good at packing statues. You get really good at like, making sure everything comes safe, because all that work you do it, you don't want it to break on the way there too. So yeah.
Yeah. So far as like breaks and stuff, if you are painting something and let's say a finger breaks off or something, are you able to repair that yourself, or?
Yeah, I've done a lot of repairs for people too, from catastrophic damage to little stuff. So I've repaired a lot. I do it more just because I want to help collectors out, and just it's not something that I make a lot of money on, but like, I know how frustrating it is to get a piece that you love and a piece of it's broken. So, it's something, if I can fit it and squeeze it in and help people out, I'll help them out and fix stuff for them. So,
now who is this Wonder Woman? I don't think I've ever seen this one before.
So this is a custom. I painted a lot of prototypes for this group, and this particular Wonder Woman had 8 different heads.
Oh wow, yeah.
So she had all the different Diana heads, and these are pretty much all the heads. Got the mother box in the bottom there, but it was fun to do all that, and I added all the effects to it just to kind of
it
up a little bit, So that's the one from the movie, and this was my first time. Well, my second female statue I did. And it seemed a lot easier to paint female skin than male skin. So
this looks really good, man. And it's like with all the portraits, it's like a completely different character. So you did a great job on the paint. Everything looks really good.
I appreciate that.
Oh wow, yeah, this is like a whole different statue almost.
Yeah, well, she had a lot of switch outs for like weapons too, so you can really like change it
Yeah.
up. And even the lasso you see, so
Hmm.
I painted that in UV paint. So if you hit a black light with it, it glows like the sun.
Okay.
Awesome, yeah.
So how did you do that around the eyes, where it has like a bruise look, I guess?
Yeah, so I was like, how am I gonna do like face paint and make it look real? So I used basically like makeup brushes and makeup pigment, and that's how I did her face. So I was like, I might as well just do it like a woman would, so like someone would do it on their face anyway. So I did it with pigment instead. So you basically you go in and slowly brush it out with makeup brushes, and you hit it with clear coat and it sets it. So
Yeah. Cool, man. Is this statue here the most switch outs you've had to work with, or is
the
this pretty
most
typical?
heads, the most heads I've done. Well, maybe the
Okay.
most switch outs because she did have a lot of. So yeah, probably this one was the most because she had 8 heads and like I think like 8 different arms too. So it was quite a bit, a
Okay.
lot of work.
Now this one here, my guy Matt, he would really love and appreciate this one here. Is this the prototype or a repaint for someone?
This is a prototype. This is a prototype, and actually, it's shipping right now to all the
Okay.
folks who were waiting for them. This Kingpin was great. It had 2 different bases. This was the big base, and there was a smaller base that came with 2. But really fun project, and it has all the trophies of Daredevil, and like there's on behind his leg you'll see a blood splatter. That's actually that blood splatter is in the shape of the Punisher's face.
Hmm.
There's a lot of cool
Oh yeah.
Easter eggs on this one. So
Yeah, the shotgun shells, the
yep,
Daredevil stuff.
it's
Really
got the
cool.
Spider-Man web on the
Yeah,
step there, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So
yeah.
the card lodged in the gargoyle's head on the right side there. I don't know who that's from, but that's from one of his, you know, foes.
Okay,
So
man.
cool piece. Not a lot of kingpins out there, so it was a good to have this one too, especially for all those Spider-Man or Daredevil fans.
Yeah, yeah. I like this here. This looks really good. Really good.
The Silver Surfer I did. I'm sure some people. This is also sculpted by Franco. I like to do different things. So this one, I wanted to do something a little different. So you'll see in the next pictures, which a lot of people did with this piece. This is only came as a kit, and a lot of people painted galaxies around the base. So you can see I did galaxies.
Oh yeah.
But I
Okay.
also want to do something different. So you'll notice on the back of the board, and I think in the next couple pictures, you'll see that I painted the blackness of
Oh,
the back of it.
that's pretty cool. That's really thoughtful. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So if you go to the next picture, I think you'll see. Yeah. So in order to do this, I actually got some special paint that, like, if you use regular black paint, it's not black enough.
Yeah.
I used the paint that you would use on black light posters, which is really heavily pigmented to make it super black. And then I added galaxy clouds and stars and all that on there too. So
Yeah, cool, man. Cool. Yeah, looks like the chat is loving it, man. Appreciate all 32 of you guys for being here, man. Appreciate you guys. Oh
that's cool.
man,
Silver surfers are probably one of the hardest to paint because getting that silver
bro.
like
I'm
perfect.
sorry to cut you off. How the hell did you do that with the wave?
Oh
What
yeah.
man? Oh man, dude, that's yo, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
So I painted the blue so it like comes out like it's like a ripple effect and all that. So yeah, it was cool.
Were you asked to do that, or did you just think to
Well,
do
the
that?
ripple is part of the sculpt, but I painted the blue
Okay.
inside the ripples to make it. And this is all I did on my own. I gave me full creative control on this one. So
Yeah. Looks like Jerry is saying that that card on the Kingpin statue was thrown by Bullseye.
oh yeah, that's what it was. Bullseye. Thank you.
Cool, man. Oh man, that's crazy. I love that surfer, man.
It's another. I've painted so many of these. Oh,
Oh,
there's
this is a good one.
that's the thing that went with the Human Torch. So the custom
Okay.
group owned the whole line of Fantastic Four, and this is the thing with the switch out torso. So
Oh
that
man, this
was
looks
like
good.
32 inches tall. He was huge, huge.
Hey, Pudgy, if you're out there, man, here's another look of a thing here.
It's a cool piece.
Cool.
Fun to do the
So
thing. Man.
is this one is this one more, I guess you could say, time consuming in terms of like painting the rock more of an oranger color, but then the lines you have to get a different shade?
What I did with this one, it wasn't that time consuming, but I did paint the inside of the rock, like the cracks in the rocks, by
Mm-hmm.
hand to get it really defined. I used what's called a wash inside in between that, and I painted it with a thin brush to just make sure I had that separation. And then I did a lot of different tones for the parts of the rock. So
Okay. Man, I like this, man. I like this. Cool.
and then the
Oh, this is
infamous
cool.
Mad X Hulk. This guy sells
Yeah.
probably $10,000 plus.
What?
I've always wanted to paint one of these, and I finally got to paint one for my friend Bill, who lives close to me here. But this one was sculpted by the guy, the same, so the OG Sideshow Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
He's a sculptor that sculpted this Hulk too,
Same person. Okay.
and it came with a mini version of the Hulk too, which you can see next to him there. But really, it's kind of the grail of a lot of statues. Probably one of the most expensive custom statues out there. So,
Yeah.
but
Looks really, really good. Especially the sculpt, the portrait, the
yeah,
paint you did. Everything looks really, really good on here. The teeth, eyes,
yeah,
everything.
lots of subtle details in the skin and everything. And
Oh
I just
yeah.
want to make sure I knocked it out of the park. The base is cool. It's hard to see in this one, but all the cracks in the base, I made it green.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
green. It's also UV paint, so if you flash a black light, it glows green coming from the cracks too. So
Oh man, this is exceptional. This is very, very good. Very good. Now, what's this one here? I see a bell.
yeah, so this was another custom prototype I did, which is Symbiote for Shocker, and then it was the Easter egg behind the statue,
Okay.
which was the bell. So behind that was a bell.
Hmm.
You can see behind it right there. So
Nice.
that was a
Cool,
fun
man.
project too.
Ooh, the claws on here,
Yeah.
man.
So if you guys watch Mr. X's reviews, if you see him now, the saber tooth that's behind his back is this statue.
Hmm. Okay.
This is his. I painted for him. So
This is a recent one for him.
no, I painted this several years ago. So
Okay.
he's had some reviews on it, but it's in when he reviews now, it's actually behind his shoulder when you see him. So, but this is an amazing sculpt. Really, really is. I did two of these when I painted this one. I did two at once. So,
Oh yeah.
snow and all that, and
Yeah, love the snow, because that's one of the things with the sideshow one. You see like snow on the back of his boot, but nowhere else on the character's feet. So I really like this one here.
yeah, I grew up with snow all my life, so you kind of know how it
Yeah,
feels.
yeah.
So, like I was showing this picture because it's showing like before I start a project.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like
Yeah.
the little kit. So
Wow. Wow. Yeah,
another
that's crazy.
and this is another one. This is a prototype I did for another group. He only did one project, but you can see how big this mofo is, right?
Yeah.
Huge,
Yeah. Huge, man. Huge.
massive.
Yeah.
There's the two. Yeah, two. I
Okay.
did one slightly darker than the other one, but such a bad.
Man, so all these on the side are just kits waiting to be touched, right?
Yeah, so that red Hulk you saw, well, that's the kit before it was
Oh,
painted.
okay.
And then that green Hulk you saw, the massive one, that's before it was painted right next to it. So
Was the Red Hawk for X or Mr. X?
no, Red Hulk was actually painted for a friend of mine, Tony. It was actually my kit, and I painted and he bought it from me. So
Oh wow, I see the next one. That's the next pick. Oh man, I know people are waiting for this character. I don't know, XM Queen, Prime, Sideshow, Tweeterhead, whoever, man. Give the people one of these, man. People want this character so bad,
right,
you know
the
what I mean?
Riddler, right?
Like,
I mean, this
come
is.
on.
I painted this prototype. When we did this piece, um, like there was no Riddlers out there, especially quarter scale. So there's
Yeah.
a couple worked on right now, but so believe it or not, those question marks. There's
Hmm.
two other set of arms. There was 170 question marks I had to paint by hand because they're
Oh
all
wow.
black. So I had to sit there and paint each one. I got carpal tone on my hand after that.
Oh wow, man. Hey, this turned out very very impressive. The greens, the purples, heck, even the red on the dynamite. Everything looks good, man. Everything.
Yeah,
Here we
that's
go. I
the
love.
surfer. So I
Oh,
painted it already. That's the one that's going to Todd. But I am going to redo a lot of it for him because I want to do it even better for him because this piece
okay.
is probably one of it was done a while ago and it was sculpted by Avi, and it's just an incredible piece. So I don't know if Todd is on here. I saw Spec Fiction on here, but it'll be coming soon. My plan is what I'm going to do is you can see the wave coming. I'm going to have that wave bleed into the base, and the base is all black right now. But I'm going to do is I'm going to add a star field and let that all bleed into it, and then it'll be cool. And I'm going to do a little bit of shading on the silver for himself too, so it'll be fun.
Okay. Well, hey Todd, if you are still out there, it will be coming your way soon.
Yeah.
This is very impressive.
It's another
man.
bushy Thor, which this one won me a gold medal at Wonderfest. Wonderfest
Cool,
is
man.
modeling, like the biggest modeling contest in America.
Yeah, impressive.
There was about 900 entries, and this got a gold. So this was
Nice.
a fun piece.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, man. Oh crap. What do we have here? A Punisher, huh?
Yeah, Punisher versus Walking Dead.
Nice.
Kind of an old school kit. Lots of blood.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Super
this is cool. Yeah.
Just gaudy piece, very much comic book looky, but it was fun to do. I did this for actually one of Todd's clients too. Super fun.
Yeah.
Do all that blood splatter too. It was really fun. I did another one. I did 3 of those. That's the first one I did. And then this is an Eric Sosa Superman. I did that for a client in Singapore.
Okay, yeah, man. Love it. Love it. Looks really good. Love the blues on here.
Yeah, it's a good Superman.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is completely opposite of the green version here.
Yeah, so this project I resculpted the head, and then
Uh-huh.
I resculpted the Hulkbuster head into a Juggernaut head. And I know Juggernaut's head's not that big, but just to make it different. But believe it or not, here I actually had Troy McDevitt, which is the sculptor of this piece, do custom heads for this Hulk. So I actually have, and I haven't painted it yet, but I have.
Oh,
I have
snaps.
new heads for that sculpt, which I've been selling to people. But here's the gray version and then the red version. These are just samples I have, but I sell these to people who have kits. And later this year, I'll be doing a red, green, and gray Hulk for 3 different kits for a client of mine. So, but before I had to do those, I resculpted them myself to make a red Hulk. So.
Yeah, nice, man. Nice, really nice. Oh man, this one is most impressive, man. This is really good.
Yeah, that was after I did. I think it was my 4th one I did. I really sort of dialed in doing that red.
Oh, it's such a difference from
Yeah,
the two.
right.
It's crazy difference, man.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites I did. I really love the shading I did on this one, this green one here.
Yeah. This is another fun piece
Yeah.
here.
That's the same group that did the Wonder Woman, did a lot of Spider-Man. So that's
Okay.
Scarlet I did, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like this.
A lot of switch outs. He's staring at
Yep.
a cell phone in that one shot before that where he's got a picture of himself. So,
Okay.
but he's got a cell phone. He's taking a selfie. It's pretty fun.
So how'd you do this? The light bulb.
So the light bulb was a clear piece of resin. I I shaded it with a transparent yellow, and then I did a matte finish on the bulb. I was looking at different street lights, and they always have that frosted look, so I want to give that frosted look to it. So
Okay, cool, man. I like that. That's a really good touch. So now it looks like we have a Wolverine. Bunch
yeah,
of snow, blood.
yeah, that's not a prototype I did. That one had, I don't have any. Well, I had other pictures, but there's a bunch of trophies that were on the base, like Omega Red and a couple other different characters, but that you can switch out for the rocks or the trophies, so that's why all the blood's there. But
Mm-hmm.
cool piece, very big base, but
Yeah.
cool piece for sure.
So it looks like we got through all the pictures of what you've done. It looks like
Mhm.
coming up here are pictures of. Is this your collection?
Yeah, so that's my dining room area with all my Hulks. That's where I'm sitting, where that chair is right there. That's where I'm at right now. So it's kind of like my. So I have a blend of legendary display cases and also Maju cases in the picture here.
Okay. So you have XM Studios Hawk transformation, and right next to it, you also have Sideshow's Gladiator Hawk.
Yep.
What's your thoughts on Sideshow's Gladiator Hawk?
I think it's awesome. I think Daniel Bell did a phenomenal job. I think the green's a little weird on it, but I think the head sculpt and the anatomy, and I think even the paint that Shai
Mm-hmm.
did on them they did a really good job. I mean, still a big fan of the because I have the XM Gladiator Hulk 2 or the King Hulk or whatever they call it, or they call it Planet Hulk.
Oh yeah, where it can be two different Hawks in
Yeah,
one.
so I have that
Yeah.
one too, and I'm a fan of Aaron Perez's uh, Hulk anatomy. So he sculpted that one, the Red Hulk, and then a couple of my customs too. So
Yeah.
got a lot of Alex Ross art on that wall.
Oh yeah. Secret Wars.
Yep.
Nice.
That
Nice.
Secret Wars is signed by Stan Lee and Alex Ross.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
nice piece.
Cool. I like the one above your entryway there with banner with Hawk behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
What
really
say that
good
again now?
one.
Which one?
This one right here with banner.
Oh yeah, that's Alex Ross did the that's a Mondo print. Mondo makes like limited editions of some of Alex Ross's, and I had it framed, but
Yeah.
and it's a recreation of the original Hulk #1. It's such a great piece. I just hope someone someday makes a statue of that
Yeah.
exact sort of thing, you know. So
Oh man, can't have Hawk without She-Hulk, right?
right, yeah, some of the best. I got a custom She-Hulk in the background, and then the sideshow one in front of it there, and love the Stan Lee with the Hulk smash gloves too. So
Cool. Very, very cool, man.
we have
Oh man. Oh yeah,
yeah
there's the XM right there in the corner. Okay.
XM, yeah, and then so uh,
Yeah.
the same sculptor did the Red Hulk, the Planet Hulk, and then if you see the Hulk vs. Wolverine on the other
Yeah.
side, the same sculptor did that one too. But that one
As
he
the
produced himself, and his wife painted him. So
okay. Wow.
it was done in Mexico. So
Very, very good, man. Very good. Crazy.
and then someone was asking, saying, "Says legendary displays cases by Zoom." I'd like to curious. Well, legendary cases. So you can see here the ones on the right, the white ones are legendary cases, and the one on the left is the Maju case. Legendary cases are really cool. I like because it's the lighting, which is above and below.
Yep.
It has kind of the white background. The acrylic, really thick acrylic, is really nice too. They're pretty heavy duty cases. I was fortunate enough to live 20 minutes away from the guy who makes these cases. So these are
Okay.
actual prototypes of the cases, and I really dig them. They do come in different sizes, but some really good cases. And the guy just made them just because he wanted to sort of make cases for statues because he loves statues, not really to make a lot of money. So
Yeah, nice, man. That's really really cool. I like this, man. It's very very good, man. Very good.
yeah, it's my work area. That's what I'm staring at right now.
Hey, well, better to stare at the hawk, right? Cool.
So, and then I think, where is it? Oh yeah, just a lot of pictures of the same here. That's more of an updated picture of the spread there. There's another Aaron Perez Hulk, same sculptor, did all the XM ones, did that one too. It's kind of my
Caleb, huh?
Oh yeah. So that Hulk goes with the big one with the reaching arms one, which is in the previous pictures, but that came with 4 heads and they came with 4 busts that the heads came on. So
Nice, nice. Oh, so this is this yours, the Wolverine?
yeah, that's my Wolverine. This is in the
Okay.
bedroom. It's kind of the Wolverine collection. As you see, a lot of kits that I have no time to paint my own stuff. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of kits.
Nice.
Weapon X's.
Nice.
I did paint the brown one in the center, so that one I did paint the beast mode one. It's pretty cool. So
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, this shot here this is a really good shot right here. Get a little glimpse of everything. Really good shot.
yeah, that's what I look at every day.
Man. Cool, man. Cool. Oh man. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Tell me about this. Like, it's okay. When I took this out the box for the first time, I'm like, man, this is not a 1/4. This thing was heavy.
Yeah, and it's really beyond me why companies struggle with scale. It doesn't
Yeah.
really. I would imagine you have sort of a standardized way of measuring, a character, but yeah, I think it's a little bit bigger um, than quarter. I just purchased today, which is going to look good next to this guy. I just bought from a collector in Ohio the dog predator or a dog alien.
Okay.
from
Dog
Prime
alien.
Box,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
Okay.
an amazing piece, and that one's
Yeah.
3rd scale. So I'm hoping they should like jive together in terms of scale. So
It should.
yeah.
So we got a question for you. Are you getting the upcoming 1/3 legendary Beast Hawk?
Legendary. Oh, yeah. So I've actually seen pictures of it unpainted.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty incredible piece. It's
Oh
pretty
yes.
awesome.
Yes.
I don't know yet. It's really about space more than anything, because I'm trying to like have
Yeah.
a little restraint and like staying within my, my display. So I don't know yet. But I'm tempted because it is a pretty killer Hulk for sure.
Yeah. Cool, man. I'm happy that you were able to get this Predator in.
Oh, I
Um.
love Predator, man, and I was so happy to get it, especially from a local collector too. So, and I got the
Yeah.
deluxe version with all the heads too, so that was great. So,
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah. That was all the pictures there. So I appreciate you sharing those pictures.
yeah,
Now
yeah.
there is a question that I always ask on the show, right? There is a question. Uh, it's modeled off it's modeled after Family Guy's Peter Griffin. It really grinds my gears. It's called Now You Know,
Mhm.
and this could be anything you want to get off your chest. Anything from the community, anything from jobs you're doing, anything from what you see from companies, shipping, UPS. We know what maybe not the shipping company you deal with, but is
Yeah.
there anything about the hobby you would actually change? Anything that
Well, I think
kind of gets on your nerves?
we can all kind of, I think everyone in this room or in this, who's watching right now can like attest that the prices are getting out of control with even
Yeah,
like these pieces. Especially a lot of you have probably watched, the Prime One showcase, and the prices for some of these collectibles are absolutely ridiculous, right? Like you've got that Final Fantasy piece at $12,000. Like that's insane. Or you had that 3rd scale Predator that was, the Legendary Edition was, over $5,000. Like we're going to be in a, like the world is in a very not great place in terms of people not having money. Like I'm not sure why, and I understand like, production's a lot more expensive, materials, labor, all that stuff, but like the price is just out of control. And I don't know what it has to do with like they see the custom world and people are paying a lot for those pieces, so they think they can do it kind of thing. But like I really think it's turning off a lot of collectors because it really is pricing people out of this hobby, like the strength of this hobby is just people getting into it. But if things are costing like thousands and thousands of dollars, like I was looking at all the new products from Prime One, and I love Prime One stuff, but everything's north of $1,000, and for some people that's not affordable, and that's crazy, So I think like price, and then obviously shipping has just been a really problem with everything, just because the cost of shipping sometimes is more than the piece that you're buying too. So it's really hard to justify this stuff, So it's becoming harder and harder, but like what's going to happen, and I really think this is is that, the 3D printing has become very commonplace with a lot of even collectors, and some of these high quality 3D printers are super, super cheap, right? And it's easy to print stuff, because eventually people are just going to print their own stuff and have people paint them, and eventually you'll be able to print it full color and not have to paint it either. So like, these companies have to realize that like they have to, be careful that, they might lose a lot of business this way too, and they're releasing a lot of things that collectors might not want. There's some really cool stuff, but I don't know. It's I think XM Studios is doing a lot of good work. I think their owner is really in tune with the community. Prime One, I think, is a little detached, and Sideshow, I don't know about Sideshow. They're hit or miss a lot of times. Some of their stuff is cool, and some of their stuff is just like god awful. I don't know. But it's a very interesting world, especially I work a lot in the custom world. Like a lot of my pieces I have are custom, and I work with a lot of the producers and all that. But like even the cost of that's getting crazy. It really on shipping, But what I love is the community, and the community is really good. I mean, a lot of the people are good. There's a lot of ego in the community too, but I think, there's some collectors that collect for what they like, and there's some collectors that collect because they want everyone else to be envious of their collection, So there's a lot of different types of collectors out there, which goes with anything too, So, it's a very expensive hobby that, can really burn people out, and, but I still enjoy the community, and I think there's some really great people in this community. So, I enjoy it a lot, so that's sort of my gripes, I guess, right now. So, but I can tell you right now, still, I think you still get more for your money with a licensed piece, but there's some really incredible, amazing stuff in custom world that you can't get out of license. So I like kind of being in the middle of it. It's nice to be a part of the production part of it too. And I'm involved with a couple commissions myself with some other people, and it's just fun to bring a character alive. And and we're producing right now a piece in the U.S., so costs will be a lot lower and ship times will be a lot better. And like it's fun. It's fun to do stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you feel like there's a price point that statues should be at? Obviously, certain characters are bigger, so it wouldn't apply to all characters. Like a Doomsday wouldn't be the same as a like a Toad from X-Men, for example, because it's just two different characters. But do you feel like Sideshow has kind of like hit their price point, because they're normally at that like $585 to $750 range?
And I wish they would, that they would stay there. Like that is probably the sweet spot, because that's affordable, right? You say with making payments for somebody that doesn't make a ton of money, right? For them to get something really nice, like I think that's a good price point. But when you start, and you're starting to see these prices get higher and higher, as we go, and like it's just with the amount of money people make, it just doesn't make sense, and you're still like you're making that gap of your potential buyers very small because some of these people can't afford it. And a lot of times people will do is they'll wait for the secondhand market and just buy it then because you can get things a lot cheaper then too. So but Sideshow is a little bit cheaper, which is nice, but I still see their prices going up too. So
Yeah. How dare you guys in the how dare you guys in the chat, man? Look, man. All right, Jerry, I love you guys, man. Look. This damn Cash 10, dude. I born 15. All right. Shout out to Jerry, man. I love them. I love them guys, man. That's really cool, man. About how long have you been actually like doing this painting for people? Like when did people kind of actually catch on to like, hey, you can come to this guy and get some work done?
So it all started, I painted a 3D print for somebody, and I had just broken up with a girlfriend and like stopped doing film work, and I was just working my regular job. I work for Apple, so I was just working at Apple, and I loved it, right? So I started looking for other things to paint, and I went on Facebook to see if there's some communities or groups I can go on to sort of see if there's anything out there, and I started discovering the custom world. And actually, believe it or not, like I found that Hulk, Troy McDevitt Hulk, and I got a kit from the producer. He's in Canada, and painted one and showed it on Facebook, and people started asking me to paint for them. So, and I love to do things for people. I love to paint, so I was like, yeah, sure. So I started painting, and started show your stuff on Facebook, and then people start asking, and the ball starts rolling. And at the time, there was a lot of painters out there, so like the amount of work was like I quickly got to a point where I was booked out to almost 2 years. And
but how many actual reputable painters are there? Like ones that like people really know about? Like is it a lot now?
There's getting more and more, I think. But like some of the guys have been doing it for a while. Like there's probably like maybe 30 or so, maybe 40. I haven't really counted, but like there's not a lot. For amount of work out there, the amount of repairs that we need, a lot of like kits, there's not enough painters. So anyone listening who wants to paint, start painting because there's a lot of money in it if you can, but it's also fun to do, and really just kind of just jump into it, really. But in terms of like really good painters, there's probably like 20, 30, 40 people, and I'm talking like in the world. I'm sure there's more maybe outside of social media, but like, what I've seen with the quarter scale world, there's a lot of miniature painters out there. There's a lot of other people at different types of stuff, but like the superhero, quarter scale world, there's around that sort of amount. So there's not a lot, there really is. There's some amazing people that can paint out there. So, and I appreciate to see different types of takes on work, and it inspires me to do different things too. So,
yeah. Have you heard of Lewis or Nick?
Nick and Lewis too.
Yeah. Those are the only other painters I know, as far as like stateside anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool though, man.
There's a lot of old school painters too that were back in the hobby days, so like John Allred, and there's a bunch of other guys that just been doing this stuff for a long time, and this sort of statue world sort of came about, and they started painting these pieces, and those guys are really, really good too. So
yeah. So overall, how does your family feel about you doing this, or do they even know?
Oh, they know, yeah. They like it. I mean, they brag about me, their friends and all that, and everyone's like, well, when they show pictures of the stuff, people don't really know how big it are, because when you look at a picture, it looks like it's tiny, right? But it's super big.
Yeah.
But no, they're pretty, they're pretty fired up about like me doing that type of work. So, and it's nice to, like I paint for people all over the world. I never thought that would be, and it's fun to be able to like, I've done a couple interviews. I did one from Mr. X, about a year ago, talking about my paint work too, and it's just fun. It makes the world very small, right? I
Yeah.
think the thing I learned doing all this work and being a painter is that all the people I interact with from all the different countries, like France, Germany, Singapore, China, Australia, Sweden, like everywhere. Um, what I've concluded that everyone has the same type of humor. We all care about the same things. Like we're all kind of the same kind of type of people and living in different cultures and places, and it really makes me feel good that it makes the world a bit smaller for me, and that really it's really cool to be able to talk to. I'd sit down one night and I'm chatting with people. I'm talking to like 5 different people that live in 5 different places all over the world, and it's just
Yeah.
cool. It's really cool.
No, that's cool, man. Yeah, it's definitely cool because like I feel like the Facebook communities have really kind of made the hobby, um, I would say flourish more than anything because obviously you could like watch like YouTube reviews, unboxings. You even see people they'll sit down and like they'll do like time lapses of them like painting a kit. But I feel like the YouTube or the Facebook communities have actually made the hobby grow even more in terms of like buy sell trades or showing pictures of, hey, I just got this in, or yeah, you can go to this guy, and things like that. And speaking of groups, you actually have your own group, which is how I actually found you. I think through I'm not even sure how. I think because I had seen the same post where you had got the Predator from, if I'm not mistaken. I can't exactly remember, but I think that's how I had like learned about the group and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And I'm like, let me see who the admin of the group is, and that's when your name popped up. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, actually, who started the group Midwest was the guy who makes the legendary displays.
Oh, really?
Group originally, so he's the original admin for this group, and
Okay.
obviously we live close to each other, and he made me an admin also too. So it's
Okay.
a pretty small group, but it's Midwest pop culture and statue collectors, and that's
Yeah.
right there. That's him. He started the group. So
Oh, Dean. Okay. Yeah.
he's the group started, and we became friends and all that, and Bill Collins is another admin to the group. So we're just just a bunch of
Yeah.
guys from Chicago, just and want to connect with collectors that were close enough. We have a lot of people that are not from the Midwest too, but
That's crazy because like I know Jay Perez,
yeah,
Bruce Riv is on here,
yeah,
Alberto,
Berto's
Chris,
fantastic,
Hans, yeah, Trey Smith, yeah, man. So like some of those people I definitely know. Chris is in Kansas, just a state over from me.
yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool, man. Definitely pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a small community. It really is. Like I'll talk to somebody and they'll know, I just literally like I bought that alien dog statue, and like I looked at his friends list, and there's people that I know very well that he knows, so I was able to validate, him and all that, and it really is a small community. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, so trickling on down to the final question that I have tonight. A lot of people, some people get tripped up on this question. I'm not really sure how because there's only 4, and I allow a honorable 5th mention. So, out of the 4 that I'm about to ask you, we have a Mount Rushmore, and today we'll use a Mount Rushmore of horror icons. So you will say Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and we'll throw in Pinhead. We'll throw in Pinhead.
Okay.
So that's my Mount Rushmore of horror characters, just off the top of my head. Do you have a Mount Rushmore of characters, comic characters, that's on your Mount Rushmore?
Well, obviously Hulk.
I mean, if Hawk wasn't on it, people might have been like, "Hey, we never talking to him."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And obviously Wolverine. Wolverine is
Okay.
one of my favorites. I think Iron Man is another one that I'm a fan of. Just even before the movies and all that too. Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man too. Was a big fan of. So Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man. I really liked The Thing when I was growing up too. Was a big fan. So, and 4. Well, that's 4, right? Did I get
Yeah.
4?
Do you have a fifth honorable mention?
Fifth honorable mention. Man, that's tough. I want to say She-Hulk because I love Hulk and She-Hulk's great too. I'm gonna do She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Okay.
Gotta bring a
All right.
female in here, you know. Gotta
Yeah.
represent.
Yeah.
So
Cool, man. Cool. So for anybody who wants to, be able to contact you in terms of getting some work done or maybe an inquiry, anything like that, is there an email or anything that they can
they
contact
can
you at?
contact
Or...
me on Facebook, but like just so everyone knows, I'm booked out for a long time, and I'm not currently taking any commissions just because I literally been painting for about 5 years straight. I haven't painted anything of my own mostly, and I want to get to a point where I can have nothing booked, where I can, someone can contact me saying, hey, I need this Magneto painted and this is what it is. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me do it, and I'll do it right then and there. So that's what I'm working up to. So
Yeah.
I would, I turn down work a lot, and I feel bad doing it because I want to help everyone out. But yeah, I think right now I'm not booking anything right now. So, but if people want to contact me, if they have questions about repairs or, painting or anything, like you just contact me on Facebook. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. Like, if people that know me, I'm very, very nice. I'm very, answer any questions you want, and I'm more than happy to help out in any way I can. So.
Yeah, cool, man. Cool. Yeah. So, hey, Edwin, there you have it. Looks like I will actually have to purchase the white Magneto, keep the white Magneto at least for 2 years, and then turn it red.
There we go.
So you get your wish, man. I'll keep it white for a while. Nah, that's cool, man. And are you a big Star Wars fan? Because I know we were talking about it earlier.
I love Star Wars. I'm not like a huge I'm watching all the time. I love Star Wars. I have a special place in my heart. I've worked on movies around Star Wars stuff, but I don't necessarily collect any more Star Wars stuff too. But it was one of my first things I collected was Star Wars.
So I have to ask
Mm-hmm.
2 Star Wars questions. Out of all trilogies, what was your favorite trilogy?
Oh, the original.
Okay. Sith Lord or Jedi Master?
Jedi Master.
Ooh. Can I ask why?
I just like the good guys,
Like the good guys. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a good guy myself, and if you're going to say Decepticons or Autobots, I'd say Autobots. I don't know.
So
Who I
so
am.
so you liked it a young Anakin more than Lord Vader?
Well, maybe not in the episode 1 with
Yeah.
how it was done. Maybe not, but yes, I would definitely vote. I would definitely vote for Anakin and all that. Sith Lord. Now, Sith Lords are cool and they're badass. And I think some of the cooler, designs of stuff in terms of a design standpoint. But as if I were in that world, like I would definitely go with the Jedi. So.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. Well, man, I definitely want to say I appreciate you for coming on to episode 29 of the Cashing Out Show, taking a little bit of time out of your day to come hang out with me in the community. Appreciate all 35 of you guys, each and every one of you guys, for stopping by and tuning in. It's always a pleasure to come here each Thursday night with you guys, along with a new guest. No matter what their field or contribution to the hobby and community is. So I appreciate you for coming, Jason.
I appreciate it, man. That was very fun. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for everyone showing up, too.
Yeah. And everybody remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Next week, we do have Lord, I forgot the damn XM. David from DCX is coming. So he'll be on next week for episode 30, actually. Surprisingly, we got up to 30 episodes already. So he will be on. Can't wait to interview him and listen to some of his stories and stuff. And if you do happen to be free next Wednesday, Ironically, our Star Wars show is on Wednesday. It's May the 4th. You're more than welcome to stop in. Jason, Todd will be there. Thor will be there. Gonna have a pretty good time on May the 4th. So you are free. You're more than welcome to stop in, or even just catch it live, or whatever, man. But again, appreciate you for coming, Jason. Everybody out there in the chat, you guys have a good one, and remember one thing, guys. Cash out, baby.
Put some cash in your life. Put some cash in your life. Every cash